And let me share my screen. Okay, so let's start. Good morning, everyone, again, and thank you very much for joining today's primary open call info webinar. My name is Thanos Orampatsis. I am a project manager at Reframe Food, and today I will guide you through the primary open call, its objectives, eligibility conditions, evaluation process, proposal preparation, and practical implementation aspects. The purpose of today's webinar is to help interested applicants better understand what primary is aiming to achieve, what types of projects are expected, how proposals will be evaluated, and how you can prepare a strong and competitive application. Before we begin, I would like also to stress an important note, as you can see in this slide, that this presentation is intended for informational purposes only and should not be considered legally binding. Applicants should always carefully consult the official open call documents and annexes. So today's session is structured in a step-by-step way to guide applicants through the entire open call process. We will begin with a short introduction to the primary project itself, and then move into the scope and objectives of the open call, who can apply, project expectations, the roadmap and timeline, the submission process, proposal evaluation, implementation requirements, proposal structure and budgeting, and finally, practical recommendations for preparing a successful proposal. At the end, we will open the floor for questions and discussion. To understand the open call properly, it is important first to understand the primary project itself and the broader challenge it addresses. So Primary is a Horizon Europe project focused on creating new business opportunities for farmers and cooperatives through the local upcycling of underutilized agricultural feedstocks. Across Europe, many agricultural residues remain underexploited, undervalued, or even treated as waste streams, despite having significant potential for generating food and feed products, biomaterials, bioenergy, and soil-related applications. At the same time, many rural regions face declining economic opportunities, fragmented value chains, limited local processing capacity, and increasing pressure to transition towards more sustainable circular economy models. Primary aims to address these challenges by combining innovative processing technologies, business model development, and strong regional stakeholder engagement. The project includes 6 processing technologies and pilot activities in Finland and Greece. However, an important point is that Primary is not only a technology project, the project also strongly focuses on business viability, scalability, adaptation to regional realities, and long-term sustainability of value chains. The open call extends the project beyond the consortium regions and enables external actors to test and adapt primary approaches under different rural conditions across Europe. The main objective of the open call is to validate the replicability and promote the adaptation of primary solutions in Europe. In other words, Primary does not only want to demonstrate technologies in the original pilot regions, it wants to understand whether these solutions can realistically function under different regional, agricultural, operational, and socioeconomic conditions. The open call, therefore, has 3 major objectives. The first objective focuses on business model validation. Applicants are expected to validate, adapt, and improve at least one primary business model blueprint. This includes feedstocks such as grass, greenhouse residues, cotton byproducts, olive tree prunings, or similar residues with comparable characteristics. The second objective focuses on process replication and scalability. Applicants should implement at least one primary processing concept, such as biorefinery, solid-state and submerged fermentation, fiber forming, pelletizing, or pyrolysis. The third objective concerns knowledge transfer and stakeholder engagement. Projects should involve local and regional actors and contribute to capacity building, practical learning, and broader dissemination of sustainable bioeconomy practices. Overall, the open call plans to fund between 6 and 9 projects. Projects must be implemented by consortia composed of 2 to 3 partners. So this means that no more than 3 partners are eligible. The funding structure depends on consortium size, up to 100,000 euros for 2 partner consortia and up to 150,000 euros for 3 partner consortia. This means a maximum budget per consortium partner of 50,000 euros. The total available funding for the entire open call is 900,000 euros. The implementation duration is 18 months and divided into 3 phases, the design, development, and impact and validation. The open call has been launched on 9 March 2026, and the submissions remain open until 8 June 2026 at 5 p.m. Central European Summer Time. Applicants should avoid last-minute submissions because technical or administrative issues close to the deadline can create significant risks. Now, who can apply? The open call is open to legal entities eligible under Horizon Europe rules. Applications, as we said, must be submitted as consortia of 2 to 3 partners, and each consortium must include at least 1 technical partner and at least 1 public or private sector partner. The technical partner should have operational capacity related to implementation, adaptation, operation, testing, or validation of the selected technologies or methodologies. Another important point is that activities must be implemented in rural European regions that are not already involved in primary. This exclusion exists because the open call aims to test replication beyond the consortium territories. The currently excluded regions are the ones you can see on this slide and are located in Finland and in Greece. Another very important eligibility rule is that each organization may participate in only 1 proposal, and applicants should therefore coordinate carefully before submission. Projects are expected to replicate or adapt at least 1 primary process, validate at least 1 agricultural residue, and validate at least 1 business model blueprint. But beyond these technical outputs, primary also expects projects to demonstrate technical feasibility, economic viability, scalability, and replicability under real-world conditions. This means projects should not remain theoretical or laboratory-based. Another important expectation concerns local innovation capacity. Projects should actively involve farmers, cooperatives, SMEs, regional stakeholders, and end users. The open call aims not only to generate technical data, but also strengthen regional ecosystems, build practical know-how, and create transferable lessons and best practices for broader European deployment. This is the circular business model canvas that is included in the proposal template. This canvas is intended to help applicants structure and describe their value chain in a practical and consistent way. The canvas helps applicants explain how value is created, who the key actors are, how resources and outputs flow through the system, what environmental and economic benefits are generated, and how the solution could remain viable and scalable beyond the project duration. This slide summarizes the full open call roadmap from submission until implementation. So the process begins with a submission period between March and June 2026. Following closure of the call, eligibility checks, evaluator selection, and proposal evaluations will take place between June and August. And contracting and announcement of the results are expected during September and October 2026. As we said, selected projects are expected to officially start implementation in November 2026 and continue until April 2028. Here we see the Open Calls Fund platform or the application form on this platform, which is the official digital environment used for managing the open call. The platform supports the entire open call workflow, including proposal submission, evaluator assignment, scoring, ranking, and communication with applicants. Applicants should therefore register early, familiarize themselves with the interface, and avoid waiting until the final days before submission. The platform is also important from a transparency perspective. It helps ensure fair evaluation management and secure submission handling through the open call lifecycle. This is the practical pathway applicants should follow from the early preparation stage until final submission. The process begins with careful reading all open call documents. So applicants should study the applicant's guide, proposal template, budget template, declaration of honor, and all relevant annexes that are available through the primary website. This helps applicants fully understand eligibility conditions, expected project logic, evaluation priorities, and implementation requirements. The second step is checking eligibility carefully. Applicants should confirm consortium composition, partner eligibility, regional eligibility, and alignment with the required processing concepts and feedstocks. It is very important to identify any eligibility issue early because ineligible proposals cannot proceed to evaluation regardless of quality. The third step is registration on the opencalls.fund platform. This platform will serve as the central management environment for proposal submission, communication, evaluation, and later contracting procedures. Applicants should avoid registering at the last minute because technical or administrative delays may occur. The fourth step is proposal preparation. This includes writing the proposal, structuring the work plan, preparing the budget, and collecting all required annexes and declarations. The fifth step is submission itself. Applicants should upload all required files carefully and verify formatting, consistency, and successful submission confirmation. And finally, after closure of the open call, proposals proceed to eligibility checks, evaluator assignment, and the formal evaluation process. Each proposal will be assessed by two independent external evaluators. The evaluators are selected based on expertise in areas such as agriculture, bioeconomy, biodiversity, circular economy, sustainability, and European proposal evaluation. Evaluators are expected to assess not only technical innovation, but also business relevance, implementation realism, scalability, and stakeholder impact. Most importantly, evaluators cannot belong to organizations applying to the open call. They cannot participate in the primary consortium or have conflicts of interest related to the proposals they assess. Now let's go through the key eligibility points. First, the open call is open to only to legal entities established in countries eligible under Horizon Europe rules. Second, the applications must be submitted as consortia composed of 2 to 3 partners. Third, each organization may participate in only one proposal. Fourth, each consortium must include at least one technical partner and at least one public or private sector partner. The technical partners have operational capacity to implement, adapt, test, or validate the selected processes. Another key requirement is that the proposal must incorporate at least one primary processing concept and at least one underutilized agricultural residue. Applicants may use one of the primary feedstocks or similar residue with comparable characteristics and valorization potential. Another central requirement is business model development and validation. Applicants are expected to demonstrate value chain logic, business feasibility, and replicability potential. Activities must also be implemented, as we said, in rural European regions not already involved in the primary project. And finally, all proposals must follow the official submission process, be submitted, of course, before the deadline, and include valid VAT information and operational organizations. Applicants should carefully verify all eligibility conditions before submission because ineligible proposals cannot be corrected after the deadline. Now, once proposals pass eligibility checks, they proceed to the main evaluation step. There are 5 evaluation criteria. The first is alignment. Evaluators assess whether the proposal clearly fits the objectives, scope, and implementation philosophy of the open call. The second criterion is excellence. Here, evaluators assess technical quality, innovation, implementation, and methodological robustness. Applicants should demonstrate that the selected technologies are appropriate, the work plan is realistic, and the activities are well designed. The third criterion is impact. This is particularly important. Applicants should explain environmental benefits, economic value, stakeholder impact, scalability, and contribution to rural development. The fourth criterion is value. This relates mainly to the budget and resource allocation. Evaluators examine whether the requested funding is justified, activities are cost-effective, and resources are allocated logically. And finally, organizational capacity and sufficiency. This criterion assesses whether the consortium has the expertise, infrastructure, operational capability, and management capacity required to successfully implement the project. All criteria have equal weight. Each criterion receives a score between 1 and 5 with a minimum threshold of 3. The total minimum threshold is 15 points. Now, if multiple top-ranked proposals focus on the exact same feedstock processing combination, only the highest ranked one may be selected first. This approach helps ensure broader representation of feedstocks, technologies, and regional approaches. In case of equal scores, priority will first be given to impact, then excellence, then alignment, and finally organizational capacity. Selected projects will start implementation, as we said, in November 2026 and continue until April 2028. Implementation is divided into 3 phases. Phase 1 is design. This phase lasts from November 2026 until February 2027 and represents 20% of the total funding. The main deliverable is the activity plan. Phase 2 is development. This is the largest implementation phase and represents 50% of the funding. Activities focus on implementation, piloting, testing, adaptation, and validation under real conditions. The main deliverable is the implementation report. And phase 3 is impact and validation. This final phase focuses on evaluation, lessons learned, business model validation, and replicability assessment. The final deliverable concerns impact and replicability evaluation. Other implementation requirements include, first, payments are deliverable based. There is no pre-financing. This means subgrantees receive funding only after successful completion and submission of the required deliverables for each phase. Second, at least 7% of funding should support dissemination activities. This reflects the importance primary places on knowledge transfer, stakeholder engagement, workshops, info days, and replication potential. Third, selected subgrantees become indirect beneficiaries of European Commission funding. This means projects must comply with Horizon Europe principles and obligations. This includes responsible use of funding, transparency, proper reporting, ethics compliance, and alignment with the relevant Horizon Europe topic requirements. Now, how to prepare a successful proposal? The first step is understanding the call thoroughly. Applicants should first understand what primary actually wants, how proposals will be evaluated, and what type of impact is expected. The second step is organizing the idea logically. Strong proposals usually have a clear problem, a clear solution, a realistic implementation pathway, and measurable outcomes. The third step is defining the essentials. Before writing, applicants should clarify what challenge they address, why the proposed solution matters, what results are expected, and why the consortium is capable of implementation. And finally, the proposal is recommended to go through multiple refinement stages. Applicants should improve consistency, refine clarity, strengthen argumentation, and ensure all evaluation criteria are addressed properly. Now let's focus on how applicants will practically prepare a strong proposal. This slide summarizes the 3 main components of the application, which is the online part, the proposal text, and the budget. Starting with the online part, this is the administrative section completed directly through the platform. Applicants will need to provide consortium information, partner details, contact information, and upload all required documents. Another important point is please make sure to use the official templates provided in the open call kit that is available through the primary website. Moving to the proposal text itself, which is the core of the application, the proposal text should not simply describe an idea, it should convincingly explain the problem, the opportunity, the proposed solution, the implementation approach, and the expected impact. The proposal is limited to a maximum of 15 pages, so clarity and prioritization are extremely important. The proposal text is structured into several sections, including general information, proposal description, business impact, technology impact, other aspects, and cost justification and funding. Finally, regarding the budget section, the budget should not be treated as a simple financial table. Applicants should clearly justify cost categories, resource allocation, and expected expenses. So now we will continue with the 6 main sections of the proposal, and we'll see one by one these sections. General information contains different fields to be completed, such as the proposal title and acronym, a brief executive summary, and the consortium composition. The proposal description, which is probably the core technical section of the proposal. So this section is particularly important because it is where applicants explain what they want to do, why it matters, and how it will be implemented, as well as why the proposed approach is relevant for primary. In many ways, this section connects all major evaluation dimensions: technical relevance, implementation feasibility, regional adaptation, and expected impact. The first subsection concerns the general description. Applicants should begin by clearly identifying the selected feedstock stream and the selected primary processing concept. The proposal must include at least one eligible feedstock stream. And as we said, this may be grass, greenhouse residues, cotton byproducts, olive tree prunings, or another similar agricultural or agro-industrial residue with comparable characteristics and valorization pathways. An important recommendation here is do not simply mention the residue, explain why it matters in your region, and also applicants should explain the current challenges in valorizing this residue, what bottlenecks exist, and how the selected primary process contributes to addressing them. The next subsection concerns the objectives. This part should be concise but very clear. Applicants should define what they aim to achieve, what challenge they address, and what concrete improvement the project expects to generate. Strong objectives are usually specific, measurable, realistic, and clearly linked to the open call objectives. The work plan and activity subsection is also extremely important. This is where applicants demonstrate implementation maturity. The work plan should clearly reflect the 3 primary implementation phases: design, development, and impact and validation. And applicants should explain what activities will happen in each phase, who is responsible, what outputs are expected, and how activities build progressively toward validation and replication. The timeline or a Gantt chart is particularly useful because it helps evaluators quickly understand workload dependencies and project realism. Another important point is risk management. Applicants should acknowledge realistic implementation challenges such as feedstock seasonality, technical adaptation difficulties, and other similar issues. Most importantly, they should explain mitigation measures, contingency planning, and how the consortium intends to manage uncertainty during implementation. The team's capacity subsection is equally important. Evaluators evaluate whether the consortium can realistically deliver the idea. Applicants should therefore demonstrate technical expertise, operational experience, infrastructure availability, equipment access, and previous relevant project involvement. Finally, the expected results and deliverables subsection. This is where applicants should clearly explain what outputs will be generated, what value is created, and what practical results are expected. Additionally, they should present how the expected results contribute to validation and improvement of primary business model blueprints, demonstration of processing concepts under local conditions, and generation of transferable lessons for other regions. Overall, this section should communicate one key message very clearly: that the proposed project is technically relevant, regionally meaningful, operationally realistic, and strategically aligned with the goals of the primary open call. After describing the technical and implementation aspects of the project, the proposal now moves into the business impact section. This is a very important part of the application because primary is not only interested in technical demonstrations. The first subsection concerns the business challenge and opportunity. Applicants should clearly explain what inefficiency or unmet need currently exists, why the selected residue remains underutilized, and what opportunity the proposed solution creates. The proposal should then explain how the project creates value for farmers, SMEs, cooperatives, processors, or regional stakeholders. Another important point is expected end user engagement. Applicants should explain who the users or beneficiaries are, how they will participate, and how engagement may continue beyond the project duration. The next subsection concerns business model logic and value creation. This is where applicants should demonstrate a structured understanding of how the proposed system functions economically and operationally. The proposal should explain how value flows through the chain, who contributes, who benefits, and how circularity is integrated into the model. The circular business model canvas is particularly useful here because it helps applicants structure value propositions, resource flows, partnerships, revenue streams, and sustainability logic. Applicants are not expected to submit a fully mature commercial business plan. However, evaluators expect a realistic understanding of operational sustainability, stakeholder interaction, and economic feasibility. The next subsection concerns replicability, scalability, and adaptation. This is one of the most important strategic aspects of the primary open call. The project is not funding isolated local experiments with no broader relevance. Assessment is based on the following: if the solution could realistically expand, whether similar regions could adopt it, and whether the approach has transferability potential. Applicants therefore should explain what conditions enable replication, what parts of the model are adaptable, and how the concept may evolve beyond the pilot. Another important subsection concerns barriers, risks, and mitigation. Applicants should identify possible market barriers, operational limitation, stakeholder adoption difficulties, supply chain risks, regulatory issues, or economic uncertainties. Most importantly, they should explain mitigation strategies, adaptation measures, and contingency planning. And finally, the post-project viability subsection. An important question to be answered here is what happens after primary funding ends. Applicants should therefore explain how activities may continue, whether there is commercial interest, potential integration into regional value chains, and future investment opportunities or pathways towards scale-up. The consortium should consider the following sustainability, continuity, and long-term relevance. Moving to the technology impact part, here applicants should clearly describe the selected processing concept, the implementation methodology, expected outputs, and operational flow. The goal is to demonstrate feasibility, applicability, and operational understanding. Visual representations can be very helpful here. Simple diagrams illustrating feedstock flow, transformation stages, outputs, and end users often help evaluators quickly understand the proposal logic. Applicants should also explain why the technology is suitable for the regional conditions, what adaptation is necessary, and what operational advantages are expected locally. Now, other aspects of the proposal, here applicants should explain what environmental improvement is expected, how resource efficiency is improved, how circularity is enhanced, and how the project aligns with the to no significant harm principle. And where possible, measurable indicators should be introduced. The societal impact section is equally important, primarily strongly connected to rural development. Proposals therefore should include local engagement, capacity building, inclusion of regional actors, and practical benefits for communities and SMEs. The ecosystem impact section should demonstrate how the proposal contributes to the broader primary ecosystem and knowledge generation. Therefore, applicants should explain who benefits, how stakeholders are engaged, and how lessons learned may support wider deployment. Financial impact is also important. If additional funding, market interest, or future investment potential exists, this strengthens proposal credibility. The multi-actor approach is another important Horizon Europe principle. Applicants should not simply list stakeholders, they should demonstrate meaningful collaboration, operational involvement, and shared implementation roles. Finally, ethics and compliance. This section should demonstrate awareness of legal obligations, intellectual property considerations, data protection, and responsible innovation practices. Importantly, all work must be original and should not infringe third-party rights. The budget, as we said, is used to assess realism and implementation credibility. The three deliverables correspond directly to the three implementation phases. The budget allocation should therefore logically reflect the workload, technical effort, implementation complexity, and expected outputs of each phase. Applicants should avoid front-loading costs, unrealistic distributions, or weak justification of high expenses. Another important point is that the budget is deliverable-based. Since there is no pre-financing, applicants should realistically assess their implementation capacity and cash flow management. This slide contains several operational details that can significantly affect eligibility and evaluation quality. Subcontracting is allowed only up to 25% of the total budget and must be clearly justified. Applicants should avoid excessive outsourcing because evaluators may interpret it as limited consortium capacity. Personnel costs should reflect actual implementation effort. Travel and dissemination costs should also clearly support project objectives. An important recommendation from the open call is allocating at least 7% of funding to dissemination activities. And overall, primary expects in this direction stakeholder engagement, field demonstrations, workshops, and regional knowledge transfer. Formatting requirements should also not be ignored. The 15-page limit is strict. Evaluators are instructed not to evaluate content beyond page 15. One thing to always remember is that the proposal that is visually clean, easy to navigate, concise, and structurally consistent already creates a more positive evaluation experience. The formatting requirements therefore exist to ensure fairness, readability, and consistency across all submitted proposals. So as we said, the proposal text is strictly limited to 15 pages. So applicants should avoid repetition, unnecessary jargon, and excessively theoretical explanations. The formatting specifications are also important. The minimum font size is 11 points, Arial font, minimum margins, proper spacing. Overall, applicants should avoid trying to compress content artificially by reducing margins, shrinking spacing, or overcrowding pages. Another useful clarification is that the cover page and table of contents are excluded from the page count, and budget tables are also treated separately. Applicants are also allowed to remove the explanatory guidance text included in the proposal template. Reaching to the final slide of today's webinar, applicants are strongly encouraged to regularly monitor the primary website and the opencalls.fund platform. This is important because of clarifications, FAQ updates, announcements, and possible procedural updates. All these will be communicated through the official channels. Regarding questions and support, applicants may submit clarification questions until 5 June at 5 p.m. Central Eastern European Time, Central European Time, summertime. Questions can be submitted either directly through the FAQ section of the opencalls.fund platform or via email to the primary support team. It is important here to highlight that clarifications which may be useful to all applicants are typically shared publicly through the FAQ section. So applicants should regularly review previously published clarifications because many common concerns may already be addressed there. Another important recommendation is we said that in the beginning that all applicants should carefully read all open call documents before submission. This includes the applicant's guide, the proposal templates, and all the other annexes and templates required. And finally, regarding submission, do not wait until the final hours before the deadline because technical issues, upload errors, missing annexes can occur, and these are among the most common reasons for unsuccessful submissions. Applicants should ideally aim to finalize and upload their proposal at least 1 or 2 days before the deadline. To conclude, thank you all once again for participating today. We hope this webinar helped clarify the objectives of the open call, the proposal requirements, and the overall evaluation implementation process. We strongly encourage all interested applicants to carefully review the open call documents and prepare their proposals that can contribute to sustainable and innovative rural bioeconomy solutions across Europe. Good luck to all applicants, and we're now open for questions and discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Thanos. I think there are quite a few questions in the Q&A section, and quite a few in the chat section. So you take the lead, and yeah.
Okay. I will start from the webinar chat. So are you going to share the presentation as well as the recorded meeting? Yes, the recorded meeting will be shared as well as the presentation. Yeah, Natasha has answered this. Thank you. Another question is, I see that eligible type of organization includes research centers into the public sector and also includes non-profit or foundations in the private sector. My doubt is, can a private research center legally established as a non-profit foundation apply to the call? It combines aspects of both eligible entities, but does not fit totally in any. Actually, the tricky part here is, or actually what we're looking for is that the applicants or the applying entities should fit under the roles described for each consortium. That is the technical partner and either a public or private sector partner. So by reviewing again the applicant guide, you should assess whether your organization fulfills these requirements. Another question is, can you explain more about the technical partner? Is it the company selling the equipment? No, this is not what the technical partner is defined. You can also find the definition of a technical partner in the applicant's guide. We're interested for a partner that has the capacity to validate, apply the selected process and technology, and test. So it's not just an equipment selling company. Okay, I will move to the Q&A section. So first question is, can the output be human food, nutraceutical foods, or only feedstock industrial uses? So yeah, as we also said in today's webinar, and it is included in all the open call documents. The outputs are products of different use. So they can be, for example, food and feed products, biofuels, and any other products for various uses. So you can assess yourself as well what fits under the primary open call objectives. Can we delete the guidance text in the templates? Yes, we also said that during the presentation. Do every partner need to register to the online proposal system? Again, yes. This is the only official way of submitting your application. So applications and proposals will be disqualified if they are received through any other means, for example, through email. Another question is, do we need to... Yes.
May I add a few things here?
Of course.
The application is submitted by the lead partner of the consortium. So the lead partner must have already registered to the Open Calls Fund platform to be able to submit the proposal. All members of the consortium can register to the Open Calls Fund platform to be able to submit questions in the FAQ section. So the lead partner of the consortium is the one that he should submit the proposal. So he should definitely register to the platform, and all other partners, all other members of the consortium can also register to the platform to have access on the FAQ section and submit a question.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. So the other question is, do we need to select one of the listed feedstocks and our different feedstocks, or if given enough explanation, our different feedstocks are enough as is? Yes, as we explained, applicants are welcome to select either one of the primary feedstocks as described in the applicant's guide, or they can select one of their own feedstocks, given that they explain sufficiently the characteristics and the valorization potential of the selected feedstock. The next question is, what are primary's proven business models? In the applicant's guide, we have an appendix there that is specifically dedicated to the business model blueprints that we are asking from the applicants to develop and describe. So we have also included some examples, and applicants are welcome to go through this appendix and find the answers to these questions. And of course, if there is any other issue or question, you're welcome to come back through the email. If a primary consortium partner is a non-fee official member of an organization that aims to submit a proposal as one of the partner, but the primary partner is by no means involved in the proposal and the would-be consortium, is this organization and the proposal overall eligible or this condition constitutes a conflict of interest regardless? Okay, let me read it once more.
Actually, Thanos, this is an issue that should be addressed by the external evaluator. So we're not in a position to determine the eligibility at once. It seems eligible as long as they're not having any legal or financial link with any of the partners. However, this is something that should be examined and thoroughly reviewed by the external evaluator.
Yes, that is correct. Next question is if we can have the slides. Yes, we will share the recorded presentation. Now, next question is regarding the page limit. Should the 15 pages include section 6.1 and 6.2 of the template?
No.
Yeah, no, as we said, no.
This section 6.1 and 6.2 is the budget
Exactly.
information, so they're not included in the 15
Yes.
pages.
In the case of a consortium with only 3 partners, can the budget be distributed according to any allocation percentage the consortium considers appropriate, or is an equal split required? So the equal distribution applies only to the maximum budget for each consortium partner. That means that each partner should not exceed 50,000 euros, the budget. Other than that, each partner should prepare his or her budget and based on logical based on a logic and actually explain and properly define any expenses declared. Next question.
You actually have to abide with the requirements of within the applicant's guide. So read carefully the applicant's guide so that you are not missing any critical information regarding the budget. But
Yeah,
generally, it's what Thanos just mentioned, that there's a ceiling of 50,000 per partner. So based on this and the applicant's guide, you have to prepare your budget to be reviewed by the external reviewers.
exactly. Let's move to the next question. It's quite a long one. In a first mover context, whether this type of technology is not yet operational at national level, is there any room within the call framework for early stage cases that would need to begin with feasibility validation steps before later pilot implementation? Also, in such cases, how should the applicant eligibility requirements be interpreted for startups that are not yet fully established entities? If possible, I would also be grateful for a reply by email, as this would help me understand whether it makes sense to proceed with contacting potential consortium partners, including an NGO and a public academic institution. Okay, first comment is that we try to reply to all questions as soon as possible and within a reasonable time frame. So yeah, I would suggest if you sent your question like today or yesterday, we will go through it and send you a definite answer. But also, as Natasha mentioned earlier, please be aware that the final eligibility assessment will be performed by external evaluators during the evaluation phase. Next question is, are the other regions in Greece beyond the ones already involved in the project eligible for the open call? Yeah, the answer is yes, because as the applicant's guide mentions, only the regions that are involved in the primary project and are mentioned in the applicant's guide are excluded from the open call. Next question. According to the guidelines, applicants can propose additional deliverables to the main three. Should we assume that these should nevertheless fall and budgeted under the three predefined phases? This is particularly relevant to cross-cutting actions within the work plan, such as project management and dissemination. The answer is yes, because the three predefined phases are quite solid and cannot be moved or modified. So yes, if you think it will be your proposal and your proposed project will be benefit from including additional deliverables, you can do so, but within the phases, the three phases of the implementation.
And also, if I may add a few things here also, the payments will be released upon the submission, acceptance, reviewing and acceptance of the three main deliverables. So you may have additional deliverables, but kindly note that payments will only be released if these predefined deliverables are submitted on time, are reviewed and accepted by the advisory board or the monitoring committee in primary open call. However, if you feel that any additional deliverable would facilitate for better understanding of your activities during the project implementation, yes, you are free to submit those additional deliverables. And also the deliverables, all three deliverables, will be based on a template that will be shared with you by the primary open call team. So any issues regarding the project manager or dissemination and communication will be addressed within the three predefined deliverables. However, yes, you are allowed to submit any additional deliverable you feel that would benefit your project.
Thank you, Natasha, for the extra clarification. Moving to the next question. So what it means, a technical partner, is it a company or industry? Actually, a technical partner can take different forms. So yeah, either it can be a company or even it can be in university, if I can put it like that. Here we are looking for an organization that has the capacity, as we said, to apply, test, and validate the selected process. Next question in the same one. For public research center, it would be with a professor coordinator. Okay, I'm a bit confused with what do you mean with this question? Uh, yeah, if I can understand it correctly, a research center can also play the role of the technical partner, if that's what you're asking. Third, is it one in one country, or for example, could be a common issue with three country that could collaborate to make the proposal, and only one country will apply. I think I'm a bit confused with this part of the question. Maybe you can also send an email to primary@opencalls.fund and we can respond.
Yes, because it's not quite understandable to me.
Yeah. Next question, is the maximum budget for each partner in a three-partner consortium 50,000 euros, or there is no limitation in the distribution if the total budget is below 150,000 euros? The first part of the question is the correct one. So each partner has a maximum budget of 50,000 euros. They cannot go over this amount. Next question, how explicitly should we describe dissemination costs, 7% of the budget in the proposal? I would say that you need to describe it to that extent that, of course, you will stay within a reasonable page limit and, of course, respect the overall page limit. So uh, please describe it in a way that you will include all the required information and details for justifying these dissemination activities. Next question is, can we use feedstock from multiple smaller farms, or it is preferred that feedstock comes from one industry? This is something that is not predefined. So it's on the applicant's side to assess this and take the decision. And if it's for the better good of the proposal to either use smaller farms or the feedstock comes from the industry, it's up to you to decide. Next question is, does implementation water purification systems in rural India come under the overview of this project? Uh, Actually, yeah, water purification systems are not within the scope of the open call objectives. Please review again the applicant's guide and see the specific objectives of the open call because we're particularly interested in bioeconomy solutions related to agro-industrial residues and relevant technologies. Next question is, the area where preparing our submission is considered as an intermediate region in the European rural-urban classification. Can we still apply? The thing here is that all sub-projects should implement their activities in clear rural regions. So an area that is within a rural-urban region might not be eligible, but again, this is something to be assessed by the external evaluators during the evaluation phase. However, the applicant's guide asks for implementation in European rural regions. Another question is, does the platform make a first eligibility test when applying? For example, do not allow to submit if the budget has mistakes, like being below 7% of the dissemination cost. No, the eligibility test will take place once the submission process, the submission phase is over, and the evaluators will take over with evaluating the proposals.
However, make sure that in the budget template, when a field turns red, means that you must review your calculations, and this may be a sign that your budget is below the 7% threshold.
Exactly.
So make sure that all values turn green in the budget template.
Yeah, this is a very good point, and thank you for bringing this on. And I think the final question, can we use municipal green waste as a feedstock, the garden trimmings, etc.? Again, I would advise you to review the applicant's guide and see other examples that are included as a feedstock, so that you can assess on your own if this type of waste can be considered eligible for what the open call is requiring. I think there are some more questions in the chat. So sorry, I want to synthesize the hydrogel for application. Can we consider this under biorefinery? I would advise you again to go through the appendix of the applicant's guide, where we have different examples, and we explain more about the different processes that the open call requires to be included and incorporated. And then you can assess yourself if your idea can fit under this open call. Another question is, would agroforestry residues be considered eligible as similar agricultural residues or feedstocks under the call, particularly when combined with the other agricultural biomass streams? The answer also here is that if you decide to select a feedstock that is additional to or out of the primary feedstocks, it can be eligible as long as you describe and define the characteristics and the valorization potential. And please do not forget that this will be assessed by the external evaluators during the evaluation process. Another question is, could you provide more details on what is expected from the validation of the business model? How far do we have to go? Again, this is well described in the appendix of the applicant's guide. So what we are expecting from the applicants. As we said, we do not expect to come up with a fully commercial business plan. And for this reason, we have also provided to the applicants the business model canvas to use it as a guide for describing their business model. Moving to next question, can the equipment section of the budget include the costs of installing protective structures, masonry necessary to ensure the operation and safety of the pyrolysis reactor? So here I would say that in the budget, the eligible equipment costs involve depreciation costs of equipment or infrastructure. So these installation costs I'm not sure if they would be eligible for under the budget. Um, Again, this will be evaluated by the
Mm-hmm.
evaluators, whether it is eligible or not, who have also the technical capacity to do so. Next question is, previously funded projects from Cascade funding can also apply for primary funding. Um, in the applicant's guide, we mentioned that projects that have received funding from other projects that were in the same call as the primary project cannot apply for this open call. But in general, if a project has received other funding from not associated projects or initiatives, they can apply. They can still apply. Next question is, if we are two partners, one agronomist and one private company, is it best to have a third partner in technical, private, or in university institute? Um, and then there is a correction, or another private company farmer. Uh, I wouldn't say one or the other is a preferred option or not. The thing is to satisfy the requirements of the consortium composition, which is to have a technical partner and then a private or a public sector partner, which will serve as the end user. So the decision is up to you. Um, okay, I think then it is repeated with the equipment question. Okay, and then in the Q&A, there is another one. Can the equipment section... no, it's the one that was in the chat as well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, okay, I think we are done with the questions, as I can see.
And we are within time.
Yes. But of course, if there are additional questions that will come up
Yes.
after you go maybe again through this recorded presentation, we're willing to accept them through the primary open call email. Thank you very much, all of you, for attending. And I would like to wish you good luck with your applications. We're really looking forward to accepting interesting proposals. Thank you very much and have a nice day.
Thank you,
Goodbye.
Thanos. Good luck to all of you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.